Hi, I'm Greg Wolf for Unsportsmanlike Conduct. The NFL Draft recently concluded, and in the first round with the 26th overall pick, the Denver Broncos selected quarterback Paxton Lynch out of the University of Memphis. I had a chance to catch up with Paxton right before the draft to talk about his future in the NFL. Stop. All right, Paxton, so thanks for taking some time for us. We appreciate it. Before I get into anything else, I need to ask you about your trip here. What happened on the route to NFL experience?
It was a trip to say the least. We went over there and met with Nike. We had to walk over there, couldn't find a cab. When we came out, found a cab on the way back. He went the wrong direction, about 15 minutes wrong direction. And then we stopped and we're like, you went the wrong way. He was like, well, you guys got to get out. He's like, I don't know why he said he wasn't going to make any money. He's like, I'm not going to make any money. And then he just kicked us out. And then we walked about 30 minutes over here,
Had to walk.
So the legs are nice and warm.
You got a nice workout. So you're going to appreciate it that much more on draft day when your dreams are realized. Was there a moment for you during this season where you felt that I'm ready and I'm not going to need to come back for my senior year? I'm ready to go pro?
You know, a lot of people say after Ole Miss is when the buzz really started, and that's kind of true. After we beat Ole Miss, it was just kind of out of control. The city was out of control that we just had beat Ole Miss. You know, no one really believed that we could do it. And then after we did it, you know, I sat down with Coach Fu and we kind of talked. But the biggest thing for me was just making sure that the guys around me knew that I wasn't worried about any of that stuff. I was worried about the team that I was playing with now and focus on winning ball games with those guys week to week.
It must get very crazy when you decide that you are going to make that leap and then process of finding an agent and all that. What did you know about Lee Steinberg before this whole process started?
Well, I knew about the movie. The first thing I knew about was the movie, and but I reached out to him after the Miami Beach Bowl last year, and then we kind of stayed in contact through the whole season this year, and he was spending time with my family at the games, him and Chris. And they just kind of built that relationship with my family. And then also I knew that Chris had a great resume, I guess you could say, of quarterbacks and first-round picks that he has represented, also giving back to the community where he's, you know, where you've been from the athletes that he represented. He did a great job at making sure those guys gave back to where they're from and the colleges and, you know, the universities they went to. And that's a big thing for me. I come from a small city. You know, I want to give back to that community as well as University of Memphis.
When you did get to know Lee a little bit better and better, what kind of made you realize that this is the right fit for me? It's just in addition to what you just said in terms of what he's done with a lot of athletes and giving back.
Well, the biggest thing for me was I'm a big family guy. You know, I have a couple of close friends to me that are family as well, and he was just, you know, it was just comfortable having him around my parents, and you know, it wasn't always business. He was able, you know, be laid back and hang out with the family, got to eat with us, and same as Chris, and that was a big deal breaker for me as well.
What about in terms of your football and growing up? Who did you look up to as a player?
When I first started playing, it was Cordell Stewart because my dad he has a lot of family over there in Pennsylvania, so we used to go out there to the training camps and wait for autographs and get football signed and all that. But then as I kind of got older in high school, it was Cam Newton. So I guess it's always been those dual threat quarterbacks.
I have to ask now, since you brought it up.
Yeah.
Can you dab?
I'm not one to dance. I save the dancing for the important occasions.
You said you've seen the movie Jerry Maguire.
Yeah.
It's so often, you know, we see, you know, art imitating life, and in case of Lee's story, imitating art all over again. In any sense, do you feel like, I mean, you're the first big client he has for this comeback, and it's a big comeback for Lee as well. Are you Rod Tidwell for Lee?
I don't know who I am, but I know if there is a second movie, hopefully I can get a role. Somebody to play me, maybe Leonardo or Brad Pitt or something.
That'd be a good choice.
Yeah.
I see a little bit of Leo there.
Yeah.
How hard is it to block out the noise and hear in terms of where you might go, where you might wind up in the draft? Or are you just so focused on what you're doing right now, getting ready, preparing?
It's definitely difficult, obviously, to not pay attention to that, but at the same time, you got to control what you can control. And like those mock drafts, they don't really influence the draft at all or anybody's decision making. So I'm worried about what I can control, and I'm controlling that, and then whatever happens after that happens.
A lot of talk about Los Angeles. They have the 15th pick. Obviously moving to a new city.
Yeah.
And a lot of people saying you could wind up a Ram.
Yeah, I've heard that a time or two. I think that would be cool to go to a, I wouldn't say a new franchise, but it kind of is a new franchise just because they're moving, going back to where they used to be. But I think that would be cool to be in that kind of city and that kind of environment. But at the end of the day, this has been a dream for me to play in the NFL since I was a little kid. So wherever I end up, I'd be happy.
Did you ever imagine yourself? I mean, at what age maybe did you imagine yourself in this position?
Well, as a kid, I used to always go outside. I used to have a little Steelers uniform. I used to dress up and go play football by myself. Act like I was the great NFL players at that age. So, I always had big hopes for myself, believing in myself that I can make it here. And now that it's here, it's kind of hard sometimes, but I just kind of sit back and soak it all up.
What would you say in terms of being a quarterback for you at this point is your greatest strength when someone asks you that? Well,
I definitely think that being as big as I am, my athletic ability is obviously like no one else's in this draft class. You got the quarterbacks like Cam Newton now, who are just big and athletic, who can do it all, who can throw and run, and that's what I see myself as.
Hey, be sure to check out part 2 of our interview with Paxton Lynch next week, along with another edition of Unsportsmanlike Conduct every Tuesday. And don't forget to subscribe to make sure you don't miss an episode. Thanks for watching.